Howdy there. So we're taking a look at this. Oh, whoops. Um, we're taking a look at the syllabus today, and this is going to be one way that we're going to be going about doing things is using Edpuzzle to make sure that you guys are taking care of asynchronous work, meaning not live or not face-to-face necessarily, but kind of somewhat on your own time, kind of somewhat within a time frame. But the idea is that way you're not just sitting there having to stare at a screen the whole time, but you're still doing work on a screen. So I don't get it, but somehow this is a good idea. And so we want to take a look at what's going on. You can read, so I just want to let you know some important things to highlight, and we'll stop and ask some questions along the way. But this is big. If you want to get a hold of me, that's the best way to do it. If you plan on going into AP Calculus next year, then if you were to think about like, hey, I want to get a calculator, what should I do? Well, if you're going to go into AP Calculus, then you're going to want to get a graphing calculator because you'll need one for AP Calculus. If you're not going to go to AP Calculus, there's no reason to go spend, $50, $60, $150 on a graphing calculator. No joke, they cost that much. We don't need anything that much. You can get away with a $45, $50 one for AP and be set. But if you're not going to AP, then you might as well just get a $13 scientific calculator and be in a lot better shape. Just make sure that it can do the trig functions as well as logarithms is what you need to be able to do. Now, this is important. This is a big deal. So take a look at this. Make sure that you have a good understanding about that. This is what we're going to be following. So there you go. All right, then we have this. This is the definitions and what we expect out of both of them. Synchronous is going to be mainly done through Google Meet. So we will have our Google Meet going. And depending on your day of the week, since this is pre-calculus, some people will go Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. Some people will go Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But, it depends. So asynchronous will be on your other days, your non-synchronous days. And typically, I plan on starting off at least with Edpuzzle. And if this gets to be too burdensome making these, then maybe I'll just switch to a daily question sort of thing. But this is the idea of what's going on. So the asynchronous, expect those to be mainly your lectures, while your synchronous will be time for us to discuss or for you to work on assessments. These are the things that we're going to be doing. This is why we're doing it. So note that this is pre-calculus, so we will begin to calculus. This is a little bit different than if you go into one of the other schools in the district as far as taking pre-calculus goes. Personally, the purpose is to get to calculus, so we're going to do some calculus at the end of the year, unless something crazy like what happened last school year kicks in. So we'll see. Three tests per semester. I'm still not entirely sure how we're going to go about doing those, but there'll be the tests, the quizzes, any assessments going to be done primarily during our synchronous days, like I said before. But there might be some projects that we might use instead for you to show your understanding. In that case, maybe that will be, you'll submit that instead. But so we'll see what happens with that. Quizzes, though, a lot of our quizzes we're going to be collaborating on, so that way you don't have to try to be sneaky as far as cheating goes. You could just collaborate, and it's the kind of things that if I ask you to do something, even before this, I would ask people to do things that the bigger, deeper understanding, not can you do arithmetic. That's not what I'm going to be checking on these things, but do you understand what's going on? And those are the sort of questions that you won't be able to ask Alexa or Siri or Google or whoever. So don't worry about that. And hopefully by the time that we get around to the final in January, that we can be doing this stuff in a classroom, which would make things a lot better. So I'm all about retakes. I fully believe in retakes. I think that it's an important part of growth is learning, and that's my belief. It's about, hey, we have a goal in mind. We want to get there, and so we want to see how close we can get there by the end of the course. So if we do something in August that you don't really understand until January, but in January you have it down, locked down, then your grade should reflect that, is my belief. So we will find a way to make that happen. It's going to be a little bit different with these things, but imagine you're going to have to explain yourself very thoroughly in order for this to happen. So we'll get that more cleared up when we get there. So, all right, give it a shot.